This is Federalist 45, Part 1. As you have noticed in the past few Federalist Papers, Madison was talking about the authority needed for the federal government. And he went through them and said if you want a strong union, you have to give efficacy to this government. Give it the ability it needs to get the job done, to defend you in case there's an invasion, in case there's an insurrection, a rebellion. Regulate commerce. Have a good foreign policy, one foreign policy with other countries, not 13 foreign policies. Now here in number 45, he's going to be answering a lot of critics who are saying, well, with this much power in the hands of the federal government, state governments are not going to have any power left. And Madison says that is not true. All we've done is invigorate the federal government under this new constitution, give it life. See, he even uses the word that has vigorate as the Latin root of life. We want to give it energy. We want to actually give it enough life to get the work it needs to get done and make it effectual. Remember in 44, Federalist 44, he used the word efficacy, efficient, and effectual. Something that I can actually get the job done and be effective. So he uses these words for this Federalist, and he says, this Constitution, this new Constitution, will give enough life to this federal government to do its job, and then will leave majority of power in your hands, state governments. Because at that time, one thing we need to remember is that Americans had just had a revolution and they were afraid of central government. They'd seen what the British Parliament and monarch had done to them. So they didn't want a strong central government. So Publius, Madison, John Jay, Hamilton had their work cut out for them because they had to say no. You have to give the federal government more power, but that doesn't mean state governments are going to lose their power. They're going to still hold a lot of power in their hands. So let's start reading it. Having shown that no one of the powers transferred to the federal government is unnecessary or improper, the next question to be considered is whether the whole mass of them will be dangerous to the portion of authority left in the several states. So will this federal government be dangerous to the states? Because our critics are saying states have lost power, and he's going to say no. The next paragraph, the adversaries to the plan of the convention, instead of considering in the first place what degree of power was absolutely necessary for the purposes of the federal government, have exhausted themselves in a secondary inquiry into the possible consequences of the proposed degree of power to the governments of the particular states. Again, remember, particular states means these separate state governments. But if the Union, as has been shown, be essential to the security of the people of America against foreign danger, if it be essential to their security against contentions and wars amongst the different states, if it be essential to guard them against those violent and oppressive factions which embitter the blessings of liberty, and against those military establishments which must gradually poison its very fountain, if, in a word, the Union be essential to the happiness of the people of America, is it not preposterous to urge an objection to a government without which the objects of the Union cannot be attained? That such a government may derogate from the importance of the governments of the individual states? Was then the American Revolution effected? Was the American Confederacy formed? Was the precious blood of thousands spilled and the hard-earned substance of millions lavished? Not that the people of America should enjoy peace, liberty, and safety, but the governments of the individual states, that particular municipal establishments might enjoy a certain extent of power and be arrayed with certain dignities and attributes of sovereignty? So notice he is using the words of the Declaration of Independence. And he says, did we lose so many people? Did we shed so much blood? Did so much money so much property got destroyed just so that states will have more power? All this happened so that people of America to have the blessings of security, safety, and also happiness. So to his critics, he's saying, state governments, yes, you guys are going to give some government to the some power to the central government, but it doesn't mean you are going to lose your importance. And don't forget that we had this revolution, all the people that were killed and injured, all the property that was destroyed. It wasn't just for the state governments to keep their sovereignty. It's for people to have a better life, to have a secure life, to be in a peaceful situation where they themselves and their future generations can prosper. We have heard of the impious doctrine in the old world that the people were made for kings, not kings for the people. He says, if you say the states are important, it sounds like what the European monarchs are saying. They're saying people are in the service of the monarch, not monarch in the service of people. You're saying people are in the service of the states, not states in the service of people. Is the same doctrine to be revived in the new, in another shape, that the solid happiness of the people is to be sacrificed to the views of political institutions of a different form? It is too early for politicians to presume on our forgetting that the public good, the real welfare of the great body of the people, is the supreme object to be pursued, and that no form of government whatever has any other value than as it may be fitted for the attainment of this object. Were the plan of the convention adverse to the public happiness, my voice would be, reject the plan. Were the union itself inconsistent with the public happiness, it would be, abolish the union. In like manner, as far as the sovereignty of the states cannot be reconciled to the happiness of the people, the voice of every good citizen must be, let the former be sacrificed to the latter. How far the sacrifice is necessary has been shown. How far the unsacrificed residue will be endangered is the question before us. So I'm going to answer all your questions and put your mind at ease and peace that you are not sacrificing all of the state power and state powers. He said, just you have to keep on remembering that this revolution and everything happened so that people would have a better lives. People have better lives, not the states keep their sovereignty. So make sure you who are criticizing us have got your priorities in order. All right, we'll continue in the next video.